Hi, I'm Doug Turner of Turner Legacy Homes, and this is our show, Building Paradise. And thanks for tuning in today. And I just wanted to review with you again. We've had several episodes in the past that we'd love for you to go back and take a look at. But our goal of this show is to give some good information about building custom homes on the 30A area. And my guests have been and will continue to be industry professionals such as designers, architects, craftsmen, material providers, and material manufacturers as our guests. It's a never-ending list, and there's always new information. That's what makes this show fun. And today we're in a beautiful home. We shot a video here a couple of weeks ago in a previous episode, and now the house is finished. And this house has a Gulf view, 4 bedrooms, 2 powder rooms, 1 inside and 1 out by the pool that we're going to see today, and a lot of porches, and most importantly, it has a Gulf view. And the house was designed by Archiscapes and built by Turner Legacy Homes. Today I have as my guest Tim Harless of Waterclear Pool, and welcome, Tim. Thanks for joining the show today.
Thank you.
Tim has been building pools for over 22 years, and he is currently the licensed contractor for Waterclear Pools right up here in Freeport, Florida. And Tim and I have been doing pools together since I think 2012, right?
Yeah.
We've done a lot of good, cool pools together. Today, we're going to have a conversation about the different types of pools and what to think about in building pools. And we're going to kind of go over the construction of pools so you understand how they're built. And then we're going to kind of show you the pool here at this house, which was an integrated pool with the house. When you have these home sites on the 30A area, the lots are smaller and you have really cool big houses. And Chris Stoles of Archiscapes, one of his favorite things to do is integrate the pool with the house, right in the porch, right off the porch area, and make it look like it's part of the architecture. And we'll see that in a minute. But Tim, why don't you start us off by, if somebody's thinking about building a pool on a new home, what are the types of pools that they could consider as far as the different types of pool construction that's available for this market?
Well, there's 3 types of pools. There's a liner pool, a fiberglass pool, and a concrete pool. We don't recommend a liner pool for this area because we're in sandy conditions. They just don't hold up well. The liners rip very easily. They're costly to replace the liners. So basically your 2 pools is a fiberglass or a concrete pool. Problem with fiberglass pool is you're very limited on designs. So just like Doug said, a lot of pools that we deal with, it has to be designed to fit the area because the setbacks are so tight, so the pool has to be designed to fit the house. You can't do that with a fiberglass pool. So that's why we do fiberglass pools, just not a lot of them. So your best bet is a concrete pool. We can design it any way you want it to fit the area that it needs to go into.
So of all the pools you do in a calendar year, and Waterclear does a lot of pools in this area every year.
Right.
What percentage of the pools would you say are, formed and poured concrete night pools?
That has to be 99% of our pools is concrete pools.
Okay, yeah. So let's talk about, if you're thinking about building a custom home in this area, what are the essential ingredients that a client that's thinking about putting a pool in should consider before he makes a decision on what kind of pool and moves forward? What are surveys or constraints of the home site and things like that? Tell us how would you recommend the thought process when you're getting started?
So if it's new construction, the biggest thing is know where your house is going to go and what your setbacks are for your pools. Because the setbacks on the pools are the same as a house. It's a permanent structure. They will not let you go back past the setbacks. So if you're considering putting a pool in, make sure that it's going to fit the size you want.
Just pause for a second on setbacks. Kind of define what a setback is when you're working on a home site for our viewers so they understand how that works.
Okay, so the setback is, in all the counties it's different, but what they do is they tell you like your back setback is either 15 feet In Walton County, you can't go past 15 feet of that. So the pool can go to that, it just can't go beyond that point.
Yeah, and also, and to add to that, when you're sitting down with your architect, like when I sit down with Chris Stoyles and we're doing a plan from scratch, the first thing we do is we get the CAD survey, and Chris will draw the setback lines around the property.
Right.
And that's basically the sandbox in which you can play, if you will.
Right.
And the pool and pool decking can't go beyond that line. And so
Right.
that's basically defining where we're going to be able to carry on the construction of the house.
Exactly. And then it's another big point, and I've done this for Doug quite a few times. Lots of times, if you got a small area, can we get the equipment in there to do the pool? On quite a few of his jobs, I've had to put the pool shell in before he even put the concrete for the foundation of the house. Because once that goes in, we don't have room to get back there with our equipment to dig the pool. But once the shell goes in, then he'll come in, do his house, and then we don't have to have equipment back there to finish up the rest of the pool.
Yeah, that's critical because, whatever architect you're working with, they're going to want to define the space they have to work in. And that's a good point, because the home site, sometimes you have a house to the left and to the right of you, and it's just almost impossible to put a pool in after the fact. So the pool, we typically lay the house out, and then we meet on the job site with the architect and with you and and we lay out exactly where the pool is going, and we go ahead and build the shell. And one of the interesting things is a pool is typically going to have a deep end. And so it's going to be deeper, and Tim and always work that out. And also your structural engineer, it's important that he's in the loop too, because he's going to want to make sure that that foundation that we're going to see in a few minutes out there is about a foot lower than the bottom of the pool, so you don't have any undermining, because you got your foundation and then your pool foundation, which is separate. But the foundation of your house has to be below the bottom of your pool, and that's a real important part with doing these integrated pools.
Right. Well, and it's huge, because what happens is when we're digging a pool, we're digging in sand. So it'll undermine the footer of the house. So me and Doug, which we've done a lot, he'll bring his footer down to where the deep end of the pool, it could never undermine the house footer, so he can continue his construction.
Tell us about the tile and coping process and what that is.
Okay, so for us to finish up on a pool, we'll come in, the next step is to clean the pool out and put the tile on. The tile is the 6 inches around the top of the pool, and it is called a scum line is what it is. So if you've ever owned a pool or not owned a pool, you got a water level that sits right here. It's like a white bathtub. If you get in a white bathtub tomorrow and you're dirty, you get out and drain the water, there's a ring around your bathtub. Same way in a pool, if you don't have tile, then you got a ring around your pool, and water in a pool fluctuates, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, and you'll just see that ring. With tile on the pool, you just wipe it off.
Then you come back and you hook up all the plumbing, right?
Yes.
And talk about the plaster process and setting the equipment, and
Right.
filling the pool,
Right.
getting it ready for final inspection.
So when we get to that point, what we do is we come in, we acid wash the pool. It's set for quite a long time. So we acid wash it, and that way our plaster will adhere to the side of the pool. And the plaster is your finished product in the pool.
And then after you do that, you have what's called a pool school,
Yes.
where you help the owner understand how the pool operates. And I know a lot of times you all recommend, you have pool cleaning service, that at least at a minimum during the warranty period, you're recommending that Waterclear has the maintenance on the pool, at least during the warranty period.
Well, what we
Right.
do is on all of our new pool construction, we give a month of free service after the pool's finished. We maintain it because there's protocols for new plaster. So we have to be sure that we're doing it to ensure that the plaster is taken care of properly during its curing process. Because the startup process on a pool is very, very important. So we make sure we maintain that. And then after that, we want to give the homeowner pool school, because a lot of owners they've never had a pool before. So they don't know how to use the brush, they don't know how the skimmer works, they don't know how to turn it off, they don't know how to turn the lights on. So we school them on how to maintain your pool.
So that's kind of the pool process from beginning to turn it over to the new owner and how to operate it. But there's also some fun stuff that we haven't talked about. And in this pool that we're going to see today, it has what's called a sun deck.
Right.
And it also has, LED lights and an autofill.
Well, sun decks have gotten very, very popular, say probably in the last 7 years. I would say out of 10 pools, 6 or 7 of those will have a sun deck. And what it is, the water's 8 to 10 inches deep. You can put your lounge chairs in it, you can put a regular chair in it, and we put bubblers in them, that way it keeps the water circulating. All of our pools come with autofills. Now, it doesn't matter if it's in Florida or not, every pool will lose at least a 1/4 inch water a day on evaporation.
So that's the autofill. You've got LED lights that you can control remotely, right? And different colors. Go over some of the other options that you see in a lot of these pools. Shear descents and spas. When you're designing a pool, you may want to consider some of these options.
Here in Florida, come August will be our hottest month of the year, and those pools will get hot. Nobody wants to get into a hot pool. The whole point of a pool is refreshing. So we put in shear descents. They're usually about 18 inches tall, and what it is, it's a shear of water just shearing out of that into the pool. So wherever you have ambient water out in the ambient temperature, it'll keep your pool cool, 10 to 15 degrees cooler. So I do tell all my customers, hey, this is a small pool, it's going to get hot in August, let's think about a water feature. Now, as Doug mentioned, a lot of our pools too get spas. And I like raising my spas 18 inches because there's always a spillway out of the spa into the pool. Well, we raise them 18 inches, so you still got the same thing as a shear descent, but now it's flowing out of your spa into the pool, which is like a waterfall effect, and it does the same thing.
Lastly, let's talk about the safety part, because what do we have to do to pass code today is we have to put all these pool alarms at every door.
Florida is huge on safety when it comes to pools. So the building code here is you have to have a minimum of a 4-foot fence around your pool, protecting it from anybody coming in. The alarm, same way. Any door or window opening up to the pool has to have an alarm on it. It has to go off immediately. It has to be at least 85 decibels loud.
Well, that's a lot of good information today, and I think I even learned some new stuff today that I didn't know. It's really some good stuff, and it gives you, if you're thinking about building a pool on 30A, Waterclear's been here for a long time. Mm-hmm. And what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Well, you could go on our website and get us and send us an email, or call me personally. My phone number is 850-685-3638, and give me a call. We'd be happy to put you a pool in.
I hope today we gave you some good and useful information about building pools on 30A. And remember, we have a lot of other episodes that you can go back and take a look at. I would love for you to do that. And always remember to subscribe and like us on YouTube. And we'll see you next time.